Have a 2020 Kia Optima for a knock sensor replacement. So what you're going to do is get your undershield taken off. And you have one bracket at the bottom that has two 12mm bolts. That's the only thing you have to undo from the bottom to remove the intake so we can get to the knock sensor that's on the block. So got those removed, and then let's go to the top and show you guys what we need to remove to get the intake off. Once we get to the top, you want to undo all your connectors and all your hoses that are on your intake. You also want to get these two hoses right here, remove them off these metal lines, and you want to get your intake bolts, which are 12mm. There are going to be some nuts and bolts. So once you do that, you'll be able to get this intake out. It's really easy. You will have to remove these two connectors right here. You'll just be able to lift up on them. They're bolted to the intake, or you could remove that bracket itself with the two 10mm bolts. I just recommend moving them out the way by lifting them up instead of undoing the bracket. All right, once you get those out the way, you will have one more connector right here for your evap system. So unplug that. All right, now that we have all the harness out the way, we can start getting to our intake bolts. So let's go ahead and do that. You're gonna have a few on top, and you're gonna have a few down below. This one may be hard to see, but it's right down there at the bottom. So get those 12mm bolts out and you'll be good. What I like to use is a magnet to be able to retrieve all the nuts and bolts so I don't lose them. I did forget to mention that it would be better to take the throttle body completely off the intake so you don't have to mess with any coolant lines. So to get that off, it's just going to be 4 10mm bolts. Get those off, and that'll help you from having to mess with any coolant system. You won't lose any coolant that way. Now you can set that to the side. Now it's time to remove this intake. All right guys, there you have it. Now it's time to access the knock sensor. You can remove this foam piece to help you get a better view of it. All right, the knock sensor will be located under the fuel rail. You might have to unplug this injector connector to access it, because as you can see, right there would be the bolt to undo the knock sensor, and then to replace it is the reverse process. So it's a pretty simple job, just got to remove the intake